I'm tired of all the sadness. Just tired of it.
I know.
Like it's like this
It's been
2025
tragic.
is the year for like people to die, famous people from my childhood at least.
Right.
It's a rough week, bro.
Icon, yeah, I know. Like when you think about it, since the last time we all got together and recorded, Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
That's a big one.
which was crazy.
Then you had Lonnie
Chuck,
Anderson yesterday.
Lonnie Anderson yesterday.
I
Chuck
used to.
Mangione.
She was in my spank bank when I was a kid.
Right,
Heck
right. Remember
yeah.
that famous poster of her? It was like
Yeah.
huge. It was almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
In the
it was a
red bathing
poor
suit.
Farrah poster. Remember the Farrah
Right.
poster?
Yeah. Very
Yeah, the
sad.
Farrah Fawcett. I had one of them too.
Pre-burning bed, Farrah. But
That was one of the main reasons I watched WKRP in Cincinnati.
right.
I could tell you what they said, but I could tell you what I could tell you she was a secretary. She typed 2 words a minute.
Right. And it's just like it's sad. Like there's so many sad things
Yeah.
to see.
Chuck Mangione died.
Yeah. Chuck
Malcolm John
Mangione.
Warner. That was terrible. He drowned.
Yeah,
Big
right.
Russian.
It's
I
like
mean,
what
just-
is going on? Like
Now
all
did
these-
he?
people like-
Yeah, he got pulled out. He got pulled out for the undercurrent and stuff or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was Riptide. His daughter
Terrible.
supposedly got caught in it. This is what I was told. His daughter got caught in it. He went out there to try to save her. And, I'm sure he did
got
what everybody
caught.
tells you not to do. You get caught, you fight
Right.
against it,
Mhm.
and then you drown. It sucks.
Mm.
It's terrible. I mean, this is
You
crazy.
know, a lot of childhood, like you said, a lot of childhood.
Innocent. You know what? I'll call this innocent loss for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is like this is the most vulnerable I felt in my lifetime with all these
Right.
big stars from the 70s and early 80s dying. I don't know what's up next. It's nuts. But
It is. I mean, they're dropping like 5. Well, they're 80 now. I
Right.
mean, 85.
Right.
She was probably still pulling it down. I mean, Goldie Hawn from Laughing.
Right.
But you know what?
in a
It's like,
bathing suit in a long time, but
there are plenty of things that actually in the police world too to be sad about. There's continued situations with police officers getting killed. The guy that broke in the NFL headquarters in New York and shot that NYPD officer. There's cops. It's being reported every single day being shot and killed, and it's just like it's almost like overwhelming how like
Right.
sad this really is. You know what I mean? Like just the dumb shit you see out there, and it's like, ugh. And I don't know what do you guys think? Is it like because we get this stuff fed to us like 24/7 through social media? That is more obvious. Do you think it's any greater time? Because I read some statistics that say that officer deaths are at an all-time low, and I'm like, why do I hear so much about it? Then you know what I mean? Why ambushes and assassinations and this kind
maybe
of
that they may be lower, but they seem to be much more tragic and high profile types of things. It's
stuff. Right.
Yeah.
not that any of it is any less serious than the others, but when you're hearing it's some of these things that are not very out of the ordinary, but are becoming more regular, like these ambush type things. I mean, I think it's the nature of it because
Right.
cops get killed. Unfortunately, state troopers get run over. Cops get in shootouts and things, but it's just been some really extra crazy things lately that it seems like, and maybe it's getting more notoriety because of that.
No, yeah, and I think one of the other things too. Oh, by the way, we forgot about Ozzy Osbourne. That just hit me. Ozzy.
Actually,
Anyway.
absolutely, Ozzy.
But I think a lot of things, just like Scott said, I think a lot of things they're trying to be the next one to get infamous or famous or however you want to call it, because like I'm kind of following some of these things, and it just seems like they're calling him into domestic situations or something, and they're ambushing them. And thank God they're not like tactically sound, or they don't have a military background or a law enforcement background to actually know how to execute an ambush. And I just think that they're just trying to, make recognition for themselves, and they're just not. Thank God they're not very good at it. And I also think part of that is you're hearing more about law enforcement stuff just for the mere fact of I think that you have Trump in office now, and you have more ICE. I mean, they have 78,000 applicants for ICE. I mean, you see a lot more, you hear a lot more of that. I think a lot more enforcement. You hear, Tom, Christie, Noam, Tom Home, and all those, and you have, then you have the Epstein files. And I just think you have a lot of just police stuff going on right now. And the good news is the fact is that, our numbers are down from getting killed, but I think that the numbers of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Harm is about the same, if not a little higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And how do we always deal with this? The three of us, since we were together career-wise, people would look at us and go, "Well, why are you guys always laughing? Why are you always laughing?" Because every other chance we get, we have to deal with crap like this.
Right.
Like sadness. The normal stuff that everybody has to deal with, and then all of the crap that we have to see on top of it. So like, that's why
Right.
we try to make light of some of the things that we can make light of. Obviously, you can't make light of the fact that people have died, and you can't make light of the
Right.
fact that officers are being ambushed and things like along those lines. But we can joke about a lot of other things, and we hope that we get to do that with you guys when you listen to us. You tune into us, and we definitely try to make you laugh. I mean, some people might go, "These three clowns do nothing like that," but in
Right,
the same
right.
sense. But our numbers
find
are going
myself
up
to be
crazy,
very
like
funny.
literally 1,000 new downloads every week, Chris.
That's awesome.
It's like whatever you're doing down there in Mara Sherwin or whatever the hell you're doing down there in Sherwin, Florida.
I'm building a big, beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful flagpole. Beautiful flagpole.
I'll check
It's
the
huge.
downloads. I'll check the downloads by noon on Friday. Like we drop it at 4 a.m. because that's a magical time. It's a Greenwich Mean Time things. It's like because of our international audiences, what I think it is. But I drop it at 4, and then by noon I'm like 12,000 downloads.
Yeah.
And anybody in the podcasting world says you clowns don't understand that that's all this and that.
I
Whatever.
don't. I don't.
It's like,
I
don't care.
I think
I don't care.
we're funny. I think we're
don't
funny as
keep
hell.
changing the bar either. Don't keep moving the goalpost on us. Because whenever we talk to these people at conferences and everything else, they're like, "No, this is a good number." And I was like, "Oh, well, now you got to do this and do that." Look, I
Yeah.
understand that the medium is changing, but the bottom line is you always get inspired. And I think one of the things that helps is people laugh when they listen to us. People want to laugh. They want to forget. They want to escape. They do. Like it is what it is. That's why cops do it so much. Because every single time you go out, you got to deal with something like
Right.
this.
And to your point, we talk about this all the time, that you're expected to be resilient and expected to be able to just see awful things and deal with awful things and turn right around and move on to the next thing without even thinking about it. And we say that's a thing in law enforcement, that
Right.
having your friends and your peers and the people that you work with, sometimes that's, you're not going to therapy all the time, but sometimes that just is your
That is it.
therapy, is that you're talking with those people that have experienced those same things. And laughter is a way of, it's not laughing at the incident or the people that are involved. It's just a way to help kind of deal with and, just deal with some of the things that you struggle with and the things that you see and hear and do in this job. And I know that's not a good way to explain it, but when you see that kind of stuff on a regular basis, you have to have some kind of outlet, whether it's talking to friends, family, whatever. And sometimes, humor can help, and humor can help in a lot of different situations.
Right.
These kinds
And getting laughed at sometimes, folks, is humbling, and humility is a good
Oh my
thing.
God.
It helps you not take yourself so seriously, so you're not completely cracking under all this pressure.
Right.
I know you're a YouTube sensation, but every now and then somebody can make fun of you. Just don't read the comments, because everybody out there makes a comment on something and they've never actually participated in
Right.
any of the stuff whatsoever. Honestly, we hear very little from our audience at times, it seems like. But I'll tell you this. When I sat and watched Seinfeld for years, or I watch a show now, I was like, tonight I'm going to write a letter to those guys to let them know
Right.
how much I appreciated what they're doing. You know what I mean? The people probably did it. Fan mail was a thing, but we live in a different age now. So,
Yeah.
it's just, how I know people are liking it? Every week we get significant jumps in downloads. So you guys can make it something sinister or dark or whatever out there. Anybody that wants to be a naysayer, I'll take it as, well, maybe people are saying, you should listen to these three idiots that I listen to and make me laugh on the way to work when I'm sitting in fucking traffic. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
And speaking of, things that you deal with in this job and the struggles that come with this job. I mean, for me, this one hits home really when you guys sent this story to me. This incident in Pennsylvania, on this highway in Pennsylvania. And I'm really building this up to be something, dark, but in reality, it was a hot dog spill on the highway.
A truck traveling on the interstate in Pennsylvania. I guess it crashed into a barricaded barrier, and it was hauling hot dogs. And they spilled out all over the roadway this weekend, creating obviously a traffic mess, because
right.
Every lane was, the passing lane. I think even the POV lane was like, the HOV lane was even impacted by this.
Yeah. On both sides, because he hit the median and tore the truck and it hit both sides.
Right. And I was like, I got to send this to Scott to see how he responds.
And and I was like, being, a fan of gas station food, and I can only imagine all those hot dogs that were lost on that roadway that didn't
Right.
make their way to a Love's Travel Plaza somewhere
Right,
that
right.
somebody
It's
could have been enjoying them, and to the point that it said they had to use a front end loader to scoop all the hot dogs. I mean, I was thinking,
And they're scooping the hot dogs up with shovels into the front loader. I'm like,
Right,
okay,
right.
I'm not a really good guy when it comes to like tools and stuff, but doesn't that just seem like roll and pick stuff up?
I
don't
thought they
know.
would have called Joey Chestnut and just have
Yeah,
him come
right,
out there,
right.
and he's just eating as
Scott,
many.
they flew you in to act as like
You-
almost like an emergency management type guy.
Yeah,
Here's how to handle this.
You see
This is
those guys like with the
He just comes out with a
FCS
white vest and a 5-bucket gallon of water.
right.
One of those yellow vests. I got it.
You see the plane crashes and stuff, and the guys with the NTSB jackets on and clipboards,
right,
and I'm out
right.
there, and I'm out there just walking around, and it just says like inspector or something on the back of the coat, and I'm like,
and
I'm
they-
picking up
and
the
they were
hot
like-
dogs with a pencil,
Yeah,
and
looking at him like,
and I'm-
and then the chief, the guy that's the director of the highway patrol, is sitting there going, "That guy's good.
That guy knows what he's doing.
Are we gonna let him talk at the press conference? He says fuck a lot, chief. I don't know if we should do that."
and I'm making all these, and I'm taking over the scene, and I'm making all these weird demands, and I'm like, all right, I want cheddar brats in this pile, I want jalapenos over here, okay.
One pile of stuff that can't be used, and one pile of stuff that can still be saved.
And some Pennsylvania state troopers like, can't we just pick them up and throw them in the fucking garbage? And Scott's like, if this is what you're gonna,
Who's the boss here?
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, it's like Die Hard in those '80s movies where the FBI walks in, and this is our scene now,
This is our scene now.
and they're like,
I got it.
Is this guy actually with someone? I have like
Yeah.
my lanyard from Harrah's Casino with my ID in it. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I'm the hot dog. Yeah, I'm like the wolf from Pulp Fiction, or the
Yeah,
cleaner, like.
That's all you had to say. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my God. And the funny thing was I was in Pennsylvania this weekend from that class that I went to in training and coming back. And I was like, thank God I missed that.
Oh,
Because, oh my God, it would have been like Pennsylvania.
You
where I
should have
was-
stopped and taken a picture if you
Right,
did get
if I
anywhere
could
near
somehow,
that.
some way, like just, but the problem is with all of that is that like you look at it and you think to yourself, hot dogs all over the way, and they had to talk to a fire chief that had to say, when this stuff spills out on the roadway, it's all a loss, as opposed to like what prime rib if it was on the roadway, Like, what do you mean? Like you can't like reuse a hot dog out of it. The guy said all a hot dog is reused stuff,
Right.
like toenails and butts and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
And then the pig that we want.
If this was Carl Budig packets, we probably could have saved it, thrown it on
Yeah,
in a reefer
seamless.
trailer. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
not
right,
loose
we're-
hot dogs.
this needs a complete wash down. This is great. I don't know.
This is crazy. What's going on?
Bring
Well,
a
I was like,
tanker.
I was like, wow, that's when I saw it, I was like, oh, I got to send this to the voice because this is crazy. Because
And what I'm gonna do now too is I'm gonna go get a couple packs of like Vienna beef hot dogs from the Jewel, and I'm gonna do a recreation on the island in our kitchen, and I'm gonna
Right.
send a picture of it to
With
you guys.
Matchbox cars.
like you're Richard Dreyfuss from the Close Encounters. You're like recreating in your house, and Chrissy's like, I'm leaving you for this. Like you're like,
Right.
you don't understand.
I got my 1980 Ertl metal semi truck, my BJ and the Bear semi truck, and then it's just on its side and a pile of hot dogs on the island.
right. Oh my God. Wow.
Oh.
Well,
See how much material you can get out of a hot dog truck crash?
Right,
crashed.
right.
Amazing.
And luckily, no one was hurt.
Right, thank
no
you.
True.
officers,
Yep. Thank God.
It was probably a lot of fun back in the barracks for the troopers or whatever agency handled that there to have to deal with it. To talk about the hot dog crash, there's the weirdest things like happen. Like when we were relatively new, we had a senior sergeant there when we all worked together. That told me that they were transporting a giraffe on 88 north of where we worked, and he was given a play-by-play on the radio commentary as to what happened. But they were like, this is like probably what we got hired in 2000, this
Early
had to be some
2000s.
early 90s when nothing really mattered. Like Clinton was president, and there was no rules on anything like that. And apparently the giraffe was like in the back of the truck, like like a semi lifting its head up, like it's down, like, and apparently it lifted its head up and it got decapitated on an overpass. I was like, you're making this shit up, man. Could you imagine if that happened?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Oh no,
Jeffrey.
But they were saying, "Oh my God, the giraffe is non-responsive." He was getting on the radio and saying those kind of things, and I was just like, "Oh my God!" Like, only as a cop would you be like, because obviously we didn't have jurisdiction. Like, local agencies don't have jurisdiction on interstates.
That's ISP, yeah.
State police or something like that. But you're getting that call as a trooper. You're like, I got to roll out to
got a decapitated giraffe.
Decapitated
Hey,
giraffe.
by the way, on the crash report, there's no picture of a giraffe.
Right.
How do you finish that there, trooper?
It's a modified deer. Like
Yeah.
you use the
You
deer,
just have
but
to
then
use
you
a
just
really
do a
long-
longer
yeah,
neck.
And he puts the side the lines for the road as the neck to make it extend.
Right. Just say, right,
And you have to be sure to put the asterisk that says not to scale. So everyone knows that this giraffe was not to scale
But
for the insurance companies and whatnot. And I think, isn't that overpass, there's one of those memorial signs there, like
right.
the Jeffrey Giraffe Toys R Us Memorial Highway,
right,
something out here.
Right.
Could you imagine making that call to like whoever you got taken like to the zoo?
Right.
Like, and here's the other thing: doesn't somebody do like a
Route recon?
Yeah, route recon, or like, hey, if we're gonna have the giraffe stick its head out, I don't think we can go over a 12-foot. You know what I'm saying?
It should
But
be
if
like
that's-
so full of tranquilizers or something that you're laying down anyway.
I mean, there's probably like all sorts of things like health wise, you can't do that to a giraffe because it could, like, if a giraffe lies down, it could die. I mean, they're generally grazing animals that have to keep their heads up, things like that. I'm sure there's a whole lot of factors of that in play. But it's like you think to yourself, like, nobody thought about these things because how often do you transport a giraffe?
You got the
across
giraffe coming down
Right.
North Avenue at
Somebody's
30
like, this is
miles an hour.
It's like that thing in Oregon where that whale beats itself, like blew it up with dynamite. Remember you ever see that video? That's the kind of thing. Who thought of that? I mean, I don't know. On the front end, you might be standing there going, "Well, we've never done it before. I guess it would make sense. It's going to be a whole lot easier to clean it up or whatever." But it was when you think about
taking
that,
Ogden Avenue, and it's just ping, ping, hanging its head off all the traffic signals.
right? It's just like,
They're like, shit, we kept it from getting decapitated, but it's got brain damage.
right.
We dinged it off 17 traffic signals.
You got to go straighten them out. Oh my God! No, but it's
and I do not remember this giraffe story ever being
Oh
mentioned.
my God! Yeah, he told me whether he was joking with me about it, if that was the case. But they were like, but other people were telling the story later on to me, like, "Oh yeah," and he was on the radio losing his mind about giving play-by-play on what was
There's
going on.
blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere! Oh my God!
the eucalyptus tree, whatever. Oh my God!
Right.
Well, we do see some funny things because I got one.
Look at the top of most semi-trailers, and Chris, you asked the question about didn't anybody ever figure that out? Well, we have known the height of trucks and trailers for quite some time. We know the heights of overpasses.
Yeah.
How often do you see videos from like a guy getting stuck under a railroad bridge in the city of Chicago?
Oh,
Right.
This shit happens all the time. People are like, yeah, well, we never really kind of anticipated the giraffe like lifting his head up to look around. You know what I mean? Like you allow your dog to stick his head out the window when you're driving. You know what I mean? Because they really think it's like they're on the hunt. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. It's
I
crazy.
imagine the tow driver was probably out there bitching about how much oil dry he had to use for all that blood, and he's like, like when at the crash they're picking up the broken bumpers and pop off the cars and the wheels and shit. And he's like, he's dragging a giraffe head off to the shoulder and throwing all that oil dry on there. He's
But
like, this is an extra charge. I had to use 3 bags of oil dry.
Right. But you think to yourself on the back end though, like how many more people were disappointed that the giraffe died than people like if you were like a 1-for-1, like Scott, you eat like 2 or 3 hot dogs in a setting, but most other humans just eat one.
Right.
How many thousands of people were disappointed that they weren't going to get a hot dog, as opposed to how many people like aren't going to see a giraffe? You know what I mean? Like think about that.
Yeah.
It's like you think to yourself, like the disappointment factor for a crashed load is not just the liability and loss of money and revenue, but it's like disappointment. People are upset.
Is
is
it bad that I see these 2 things as equally bad? Should one of those-
shared? Right.
Should I be more upset about the giraffe than the loss of hot dogs?
Anyway. There you go.
No, I think that's
I'm
I
being
think that's
divorced. I don't
perfectly
like
normal.
to see-
I think that's perfectly normal. I think that's totally fine.
But another one in the realm of transportation, and some of the mass transit.
Transportation.
Scott sent us one that involves a guy that was DUI on a golf
On
cart
a golf cart.
inside the Buffalo Airport, Buffalo, New York Airport. Where, Scott, you want to
This
talk a
is
little bit
another
about
one
this
that
guy
speaks. This is another.
When
one
I
that
got
just-
this one, Scott, I have no idea, but you're the first person I thought of. I was like, this is from his college days.
all these things were just. There was like this aura around me of all these stories that were just.
I can relate.
Somehow
Yep.
I felt like they're relatable. Yeah, this guy, this drunk guy from Wyoming, at the Buffalo Niagara Airport, he's shit-faced and he grabs one of those, like, the golf cart helping the elderly people to the
Right.
gate kind of carts,
Right.
and he just decides to go driving down the terminal. And he drives not just down the terminal, but he drives it onto the moving walkway, like the little belt
Right.
thing that goes 2 miles an hour. And he's got it just wedged on this thing. And you see the videos of him, and he's just looking straight ahead, like this is totally normal. He's not saying anything. He doesn't have his like drunk buddies running alongside of him, telling
He's
him
not
like,
racing through the airport with the
No.
thing.
Right,
too. I
right.
mean, like, maybe we're lucky if he's getting up to 2 miles an hour on this thing.
So he manages to smash it all the way down the moving walkway and break the glass and break some other shit. But again, still no one stops him, and he gets off there and he goes further down and there's these like wet floor signs or something like marking on the floor, and he's serpentining in and out of
Right.
this
At
thing.
2 miles an
Mind you,
hour.
it's on you. It's 1:00 in the morning at the
Right,
Buffalo International
It's not
Airport.
very crowded.
There's not very crowded. There's one guy filming, and he sounds like he's a Canadian, and he's like, "Oh, there he goes again! Look out! Here he comes! Oh, don't drive up on there! Watch it now, buddy! Oh no, there
Betcha.
he is!" And then
And you
there's
know-
a bunch of people that work for the Buffalo Airport, by the looks of it, because they got those hang tags on them. Those
They're
IDs.
probably,
And
taking
going like 2
bets at
miles an hour.
Buffalo.
And the entire time I'm thinking to myself, that would be like if I had like a Pop Warner football player, I'd be like, I want you to run as fast as you can, heads up tackling, knock that guy out of the golf cart, and I'll buy you whatever you want from the
Hudson News.
from Hudson. Portal neck massager from Hudson.
Anything out of the Sky Mall magazine when we get on the plane. that neck massager and
Right.
so
Well,
yeah,
look,
I mean,
yeah.
you gotta go. People gotta go watch the video because just to see the guy. I mean, it turns out he was a 0.15, so
Right.
basically like twice the legal limit of if he was driving a motor vehicle on the roadway. But I gotta tell, and it was again, I feel for this guy because I feel like just a part of me is like. I may
Well,
have
like,
I may have
imagine
been,
he's
like
in the airport
around
all
people that have
day.
done things
Yeah.
like that.
Drinking, trying
Because
to
his
fly from
flight got delayed.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
trying to get to Wyoming. He's been drinking all day, and they probably broke it to him. Hey, man, the flight's not going. So he's just like, well, fuck.
I'm
it.
driving to
I'm
Wyoming.
driving. Yeehaw. Here's how we do it out in Wyoming.
But but that's one of the calls you go through. Like, oh man, like this is funny. Like, what do you? This is funny.
Well, I'm
If you
sure
wouldn't have broke the window, sir, we might have had to do all the work with you. But you broke the windows.
the Buffalo Airport police made him do his field tests on the moving sidewalk. Though. They were like, he's going to all be thrown out and called into question because they didn't know enough to get him off of that thing. But he just drove that thing up there and he just kept going down it. And like, and everybody's like yelling at him, but no one's like approaching the guy. Like literally, it's a golf cart. And it's going 2 miles an hour, and it's kind of stuck in between. It's moving, but it's stuck.
Yeah,
like,
it got
just like,
wedged.
Wedged down the thing.
didn't anywhere like we talked about in the last show, like where are the men? Where are the men at? Like where are the men at? Like horse collar this guy, some civilian that
Right.
doesn't have to worry about like use of force issues or anything like that. There was no cops. I mean, I didn't see a cop in the video that I was in, and it was a pretty long video. It was like several minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, well, one that somebody's getting in trouble for leaving a golf cart that could work unattended. That's going to happen. That's like leaving your keys in your car when you jump out on a hot call, and then some asshole decides to steal it and jump in it. You're going to answer for that. Like I'm thinking to myself, who's gonna like how do you have a follow up episode to this?
Now you have to have one of those dealership lock boxes for the keys.
Right.
You got to go up and get the keys out of the dealer box.
Yeah,
And what I wanted to see at the end was if the police. I mean, you go in it like it's not like there's police. I don't know how big of an airport that is, but it's not like even when you go to Midway in Chicago, it's not like there's a cop standing every 10 feet. There's police, near TSA, and you see them around here and there, but they're not usually just like walking up and down.
Staffing at that time of night at the airport police.
Anyway.
So, if there would have been another golf cart that would have pitted this guy. And he just rolls the golf cart, into
but he's going through the airport and he gets jammed up on the baggage claim. He's just going around. They push him into it and he gets it. Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
but they don't really have. I think they have those scooters. They really don't have any like other golf carts. The police. They have those. What do you call them? That's the stand-up things. Segways, yeah.
Segways, right.
Like
that would have been the best.
Right. Well, I understand you can't shoot from a Segway at a moving golf cart in an airport.
It's policy.
It's your policy.
It's policy.
Well, to the point of what you said about like how is this allowed to happen? But so they said that he got arrested. They charged him with criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, criminal possession of stolen property, criminal nuisance, and grand larceny. So they rang this guy up, that's for sure.
Right.
But then
and he woke up to, what happened? What did I do?
What?
Hey,
what?
You got 9 million views. And so somebody from I think it's the NFTA, I don't know what this is, but it was someone that they spoke to regarding the incident, and this person is quoted as saying, "I'm guessing it's going to be a learning experience for everyone involved."
Yeah,
this has got to be the first time it happened at our airport.
Oh my God! Like you think?
Right. Oh my God, that's great. Now that was a great story there. Like people are like, "Why are you talking about this?" But like, if you're an off-duty cop and you're sitting there in that airport at 1:00 in the morning, what are you going to get your camera out and film it? Are you going to get involved?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm looking at that going,
that's a freebie.
My instinct would have been, I'm going to tackle that guy.
Yeah, or do I not say anything and just see how this plays out? Because it's I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I would do something like totally dramatic, like a James Bond thing. Like I jump from one of the chairs and I land in the cart with him.
Right.
Or do a TJ Hooker, across the hood.
Leaning over, and we're fighting over the steering wheel as we're at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's 5 miles an hour. I think I'd probably do in most pits because I don't know about you guys. You ever get stuck in an airport at like 1:00 in the morning? And you're like, well, we have no shuttles to the hotels. You're going to have to sleep here. I'd be like, this dude is going to keep all of us up all night because this is going to take hours to clean this mess up. The cops are going to come in and everything. That's what I would have tackled the guy over there because I at least would have been like, well, I got at least 2 or 3 hours shut eye out of it, sleeping in an airport floor. That's what I was thinking. Like I was like, I think I would have maybe tackled the guy off of the thing or tried to like get in it and commandeer like the Indiana Jones scene.
I would have taken
the two guys fighting in the front. Yeah,
I would have told Chrissy to grab the other end of my charger for my iPad, and we would have just clotheslined him at the end. Like hold it tight, hold it tight.
At 2 miles an hour. Oh no!
And he's actually just stuck against it.
But again, he doesn't turn his head and look at anybody like he was when he was driving. He's just like
he just chokes himself out and he passes out.
And all the other guys are just standing around going, "Hey, hey, hey!" Like they were in the video, like nobody's doing anything. It was like, now's our chance. No,
his foot's on the gas pedal, just burning up the thing. I mean, but you're right. Like, how does nobody do anything?
Right.
Well, but how, and then you're watching this unfold because some of the stuff is it's like funny. Like there was something out of Kansas. A trooper makes a stop on a guy whose DUI is it's not even Halloween, and the guy jumps out of the car in a Bud Light costume, and a Bud Light can. Like some of the stuff you gotta be like, all right, bro, you win. I like it's like this is good.
He was dressed as a Bud Light can.
Yeah, there was this costume. He was wearing a Bud Light can, driving the car while he was drunk. I mean, sometimes you just got to go, I don't know. I got to give it to you.
And like, seriously, with this guy, I mean, on a serious note, if he's that hammered and just running into shit and doing stupid shit, like, I don't want to be the person or somebody that I'm nearby or somebody that has a little kid or something with him, that this kid, you know, not that he's necessarily going to kill somebody, but I'm not letting other people get run into and hurt and shit. Or if I'm at the end of that thing and I see that coming, I'm like, no, you're coming off that golf cart. Like, this is, and you know, you're going to see probably like 30+ years, slightly overweight cops that work the airport detail that are huffing down the aisle, trying to get down there. Hopefully one of them has a pair of handcuffs, you know.
He's just rambling towards the kissing rod at 5 miles an hour, and he like just loses control and crashes, and it blows up like in the movies. So he just catches on fire and he dies.
Anyway. Well, anyway, taking alcohol to another level, we are not, as policemen, we are not immune to making stupid decisions either. Yeah, like this guy out of San Antonio, allegedly, he failed DWI test and he'd opened beer and a cooler of beers in his patrol car while he was working.
Was he a San Antonio cop?
Yeah, on duty, San Antonio PD.
Ooh,
yeah,
on duty, cooler and beer in the car.
A beer open too. Open.
Like, what was the build up to that traffic stop? Like,
go ahead, Scott.
So he was, like Chris said, he ends up having a cooler in his car. But what they said was, shortly after their South Patrol A shift roll call, so whatever that unit area, whatever their roll call.
0600, 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
That's happy hour for that shift.
Right. And a sergeant and a lieutenant both said that they smelled alcohol on this guy, and he's on duty. So they begin like an administrative process, start talking to him about what's going on. And he's like, he just drives away. like, I'm out. I don't have time for this. You know, right. I'm out.
I got people to save. It's 6 in the morning.
Right. I got people to save. In his patrol car. He drives away in his patrol car.
But the lieutenant and the sergeant had to turn and go the other way. They couldn't pursue him and turn off their lights and had him drive away because he wouldn't stop. It's not a serious offense.
So all it says is that they called him back and he returned immediately, probably to go chuck his empties out the passenger side. Like,
he's throwing out some homeless guy for change.
Who could eat a whole roll of Mentos in 3 minutes?
He's so cannonballing one of those things on the way back too. Just like, oh, I got cannonball.
I was drinking this Listerine when I left. What
are you talking about? I got a lot of canker sores.
So they do field tests on him, and he gets charged with DUI after he had a blood alcohol of 0.15.
Right. Well, then they do a search.
Also similar to the guy in the airport. So
yeah.
Right.
Well, but then they
shameful, obviously, to start us off. We're joking about it, but that's completely shameful for the guy.
Oh yeah.
First of all, the fact that I don't care. The guy's 1.5. Mm-hmm. People around him knew that he had a problem.
Oh, 100%.
Nobody intervened.
At 6 in the morning, and when he's starting a shift, that's the start. And he comes in at a 1.5, and then there's an open beer in his center console, and he's got a cooler full of beer upon a search.
I don't know whether guys have take-home cars in San Antonio City. Most cities don't allow coppers to have take-home cars. Some do, depends upon where you're at. So maybe there was some level expectation of privacy. He knew where to park where people wouldn't see it, and it's been going on for a while. But you look at that and you think to yourself, oh my God, nobody knew. Nobody was on a call with this guy. Nobody was that like, man, he stunk.
Yeah, no, I mean
that kind of booze from like when the calls you're getting at that time in the morning, or that even like till noon in the cities, you're usually not dealing with people.
And this is not a reflection of that agency. I mean, we're joking because of the ridiculousness of it, but at the same time, the serious violation and serious issue that's created here, and
they addressed it.
Right,
they did.
They did
addressed it before it became like a problem for the public.
Right. And to your point, somebody that's that bold, that is drinking like that and has a blood alcohol like that on dude. I mean, that is where you are not thinking clearly in the decisions that you are making.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like if you have a drinking problem, if you are open beers in the fucking police car,
Yep.
and your sergeant and lieutenant are like, "Hey, we need to talk to you," and you take off.
Right.
Like,
Right.
And you don't even dump it. You don't even get rid of them.
right. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this profession that become,
Yeah.
alcoholics and different, variations of drinking problems, and it creates problems in their career, their home life, their family. So, I just want to say that, like, whatever this guy's situation is, hopefully, maybe if this has been the final thing to put a stop to this, maybe there's some salvation with him for his career or something, or maybe not. You'd have to see what the circumstances are, but it still makes for a funny story.
Oh my God.
Do you think they let him conduct the field sobriety tests with his duty belt on? They let him stay armed. It was part of the test. You have to take off all your belt keepers or something like that, like like that kind of shit. But seriously, like, what the fuck do you do? You're just like, okay, what do we do here? What I mean? The guy's openly armed. I mean, obviously he's coming in for duty. Like, I mean, I feel bad for anybody.
The
DUI
DUI attorney is like, well, he couldn't do the one leg stand because he was off balance because he doesn't carry his. He carries his taser on his chest.
And it's a Taser 10, which adds significant weight. And that was your agency's decision to do that. This is how an attorney would fight this stuff and go, scumbag attorney. And the cop's like, yeah, right.
The only thing that would have been funnier was like it was the open beer and the cooler and also a Crave case from White Castle. So you're like, oh, this guy's fucked up. And we got to get these tests done before he has to take a shit.
And oddly enough, when he was at AA, he still didn't admit he hit rock bottom yet.
Right. Apparently.
Right. This is terrible. We can't. This is like. But look, I'm sorry, man.
But like you said, Sean,
solemn responsibility.
Yeah, you sure do.
And to be honest with you, don't tell me that nobody at San Antonio is not making these same damn jokes in the locker room about that guy right now. And if you're saying you're not a cop, because this is how we deal with these things. Like I can't fucking believe this, and everybody just goes solemn and serious. It's just like, what the fuck? I mean, every one of us now is going to have to pay for this in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. But the flip side of it is that, like, how much do we get exposed to as police officers with people with addiction and the help that we try to provide them, like 12 steps and, all of these things, like your first time offender and stuff like that. It's not like this guy didn't have any knowledge. Like we talked about that lieutenant from NYPD that didn't know like what sexual harassment was,
right.
Sex lies and overtime, that episode, go back and listen to that. We kind of complained a little bit about that, although, she was the victim of something. She still had a sense we're cops. We have to figure these things out faster than everybody else. If we want the respect, we have to earn the respect. And if you don't do it, you should be the subject of a little bit of ridicule. Like, look, understand. I'm going to tell you this, dude, whoever you are, if you're listening to this, anybody from San Antonio listen to this, that dude better be going and getting help.
Right.
Because he's probably not going to go to jail for this. Because nobody got killed or anything like that. He's going to probably lose his job and all other shit. But the first thing that dude needs to do is he needs to get to some sort of a recovery program.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Why is he doing that?
Yeah, like, and the joke about rock bottom. If this is not rock bottom for this cat, we know what's going to happen to him.
Oh
we absolutely know how this is going to end.
Absolutely. I mean, because you're making a conscious decision to come in at 6 a.m. at a 1-5 and do those a sequential order of stuff that is wrong. Exactly that's going to happen. And
while
again,
armed,
while
expected
armed.
to use force if you needed to while driving a police vehicle or any vehicle for that matter. I mean, and again, all you can do is the laugh to keep from crying kind of a thing about this. But seriously, this is pathetic.
Yeah, that's bad. Well, let's end on a positive note because we always make fun of the generation that doesn't work. But I got news for you. We have a Generation Xer or Z, whatever, that actually goes. He is so proud of his job. He is an Amazon driver that he walks through a police standoff scene carrying a package for delivery. He gets stopped by the police. The police grab the package and are like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What are you doing?" And the cop's like, "It's a standoff." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he walks off. As soon as he gets past the squad cars, you see him like shrug his shoulders and shake his head, and he turns around and he takes a picture of the police with the package for proof of delivery. Now that is dedication. That is true. That's
Wow,
dedication.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
That's great.
We have to stop making fun of that
The
class.
Amazon package was actually the throw phone to try to negotiate.
Bezos should let him come
was-
into his office and just stare at those busty pictures of his wife. That's his bonus. That's what he gets. For it. You're allowed to look at a good look. Get a good look, Costanza.
Oh man. Well, everybody wonders. We all do. It's because it's humor makes us, just make the world better for us, because we do see a lot of crazy things in our world, and we just wanted to share some of the stuff with you that we think is extra funny, because it makes us all get through our days. So for whoever is listening, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Please tell your friends and your relatives and anybody you can to please come, subscribe, download, leave a rating and review from where they get their podcasts, and tell everybody. Now, we are trying to make this world a better place through some comedy, through some real stories, and to bridge the gap between civilian life and police life, and how everybody can live to be better. Also, please leave us an email, 3copstalk@gmail.com, if you have a suggestion for a show, a comment or a concern, or maybe a suggestion of a guest, or want to be a guest. And you can go to our website, 3cops.com or 3copstalk.com. And you can do the same thing there with emails, and you can get old episodes. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. Have a blessed day and have a laugh.